Real. So it looks like quite a few today, which is great. So we're at around 48 people that have joined, which is brilliant. So thank you really a lot for joining today's webinar. As you can see, with the official CRM for Unleashed. As some of you may already know or may not, we're owned by the same company, which is the Access Group. Unleashed were acquired just under 4 years ago now as the inventory solution for Access Group. We've worked closely with Unleashed for some years, even before the acquisition, and then we were acquired by the Access Group just over 2 years ago now. So we share a lot of the same customers, which is hence the kind of natural acquisition, and the Access Group wanting to really push along and offer a CRM alongside the really good software that is Unleashed. As we go through the webinar, if you've got any questions, please type it into the Q&A chat. At the end, I will try and get through as many as possible. If I can't, don't worry, we'll reach out to you directly with an answer to the question, and we can pick up those conversations from there. It won't be death by PowerPoint, I promise. I know nobody likes to sit through loads of PowerPoints. However, I do feel there's a few slides that we just need to go through, and then I'll jump into the demo, and it'll just give you a full kind of understanding of what the Prospect CRM does and what it offers. I'll quickly move on from this one. You don't want to see my face all the time. Just to give you a background of me, I've been with Access just over 3 years now. Access Group are probably, we've just gone over the largest UK software company, taken over from Sage, so a really, really big group. So hopefully you can take comfort, as you probably have as Unleashed customers, that you're dealing with a really strong and reputable group of companies. But again, I'm here. My contact details are always available. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. So I suppose we'll start with why Prospect is so perfect for Unleashed customers really. And firstly, like I mentioned, we're owned by the same company, meaning we've got two development teams that work really closely to ensure that both systems fit together really seamlessly. But the biggest reason is the product and how well that fits with types of businesses such as yourself using Unleashed. So we don't really go with any other companies that sell kind of services. It's all companies that sell B2B and sell physical products. We can focus solely on wholesale and manufacturing and distributors purely on the dashboards and the information that we pull through from your inventory, and in this case, obviously being Unleashed. We've got a really good success story. Here we've got kombucha. So we've got Dennis Kelleher, who has been saying there that obviously he started using Prospect, and in the last 12 months, his sales have doubled. Now, we're not in a perfect world. This is a perfect example, great, and it's fit really well. I understand that not every company is going to come along and double their sales, completely understand that. But it just shows that it is a very, very good product. It does work for customers, and the more you use Prospect and understand Prospect, you'll see that there is a lot of aspects to really increase sales. So how do we kind of compare in today's market? As I'm sure all of you know, if you're obviously attending today's webinar, you are probably in the market for a CRM, which is great. And there are lots of other CRMs out there, lots of good CRMs out there. And I've kind of highlighted 4 of them today. They're kind of the main providers in the UK. We all have like a similar star rating. And to be honest, we're all really very, very good CRM providers. I'm not one to put down any other provider. They're all very good at what they do. And the biggest difference, I suppose, between ourselves and the other providers is who's using the CRM. And I suppose more importantly, the industries that are using these users and who's reviewing these. So as you can see from Salesforce, Pipedrive and HubSpot, their main top 3 reviewers are all kind of IT, services, marketing, and computer software. So we kind of provide ourselves on the fact that we're wholesale and distribution. So you can see all of our top products are all industries that supply physical products. So kind of the difference between ourselves and those guys is we only focus on companies like yourselves that are listening today. We're consistently rated the #1 stock-aware CRM. Now, I'm not sure whether any of you guys have integrated a CRM before. It can be quite tedious. It can be quite painful at times. And some CRM providers will offer what they seem to be as their CRM, but then there's a lot more to do with regards to integrating and get your information through. As we go through the demo today, and at the end, I will give you a link to hopefully go with a free trial for 14 days for Unleashed customers. You'll see that getting your information on your Unleashed, and whether you use accounting systems like Xero or QuickBooks, is really, really easy to put into the system. Simply just a case of putting your API ID and keys into the system, and then you leave it be, let it work for a couple of hours, depending on how much data you've got in there, and then all the different dashboards that I will show you today will pre-populate, and you can get off going and running straight away. So even from using the system a couple of days, not having to have anything technical, no consultants involved, you can see that it's really easy to set up. And I suppose that's why we've won over the last couple of years some really good awards that, to be honest, are really not easy to win. So we have the growth formula and the growth model in the CRM. And I suppose, every CRM will guarantee more customers. And that's kind of natural. The more you use a CRM and the more that you're speaking to customers, generally you're going to have more customers through the door. But we kind of over here at Prospect work on the customer lifetime value. So we've proven that if you improve the customer lifetime value alongside adding new customers, you're going to see a lot more substantial growth and success, which again, some of the dashboards and getting the maximum out of your current customers, we will show you how we can pull that information through and how it works so well with the data that you've got sat with Unleashed that's quite hard to get hold of if you don't have the dashboards that Prospect offers. Now, I'm sure if you've seen many times before, it's a typical funnel to create more business here. I suppose attracting a lead, qualifying that lead, selling to a customer, whether that may be attracting for a website or trade show, and then selling as you normally would. A lot of different customers selling in completely different ways. You kind of filter through those. As you're selling to those, you then hopefully get to your first order. But obviously, we deal with companies like yourselves all the time, and we understand that within wholesale distribution and manufacturing, that first order may be quite small. They may be testing you out as a company to see if they can supply products, or you can supply products to a good value that they want. Or they may be just testing the water with another supplier. So that's great, but as soon as they've ordered, they could then easily get into the bottom of the inventory system, and you may not come across that customer again and they've gone elsewhere. So kind of what we focus on within Prospect is what you will see here is the flywheel here. So as we go through, we've got a lot of different options with regards to onboarding. And then we really concentrate on the order frequency, so how many they're ordering, the order value, and the retention to really keep that customer. So CLTV, customer lifetime value, and that's kind of what we add as another layer onto what you would expect from a normal CRM, so we can really get the best out of your customers and hopefully turn that one small order into repeat orders and then keep getting bigger and bigger. We have the growth playbook. Now that is a free assessment tool. It uses 7 key growth strategies, and it honestly takes around 5 minutes to complete the scorecard. And it gives you some really good customized data that tells you what areas you may want to require most attention. Now we call it the growth playbook. However, it's more of a plan of action. So all businesses are different. We completely understand that. We know all businesses have different range of strengths and weaknesses. And for example, you may be really, really good at selling and attracting customers because you've got really good products. However, you feel that you're onboarding customers. So once you've sold to a customer, is not as up to scratch. And I suppose that may be why one of the reasons that you're looking to go with the CRM. So we have loads of different low investments options within the growth playbook to really help you get the most out of the CRM and I suppose the most on your investment of the CRM, because obviously whatever you cost of that money going out, we really want to make sure that you're feeling that you're getting the most out of your investment. So we've got things here that start with low investments, a really easy task to do, to then more planning and a little bit more sort of time and effort going into that to get the most out of the systems. And again, we would work with you with that during support, during the time that you're with us with spending with a CRM. And just to back all of that information up, so we've kind of with a little statistic. So from May 2021 to May 2022, across all our Prospect customers, we saw an increase of over 32% in turnover. So that's data taken on average across all customers, which we're pretty proud of. So I really highly recommend you complete the scorecard. Even if you don't feel Prospect CRM is right for you, that's absolutely fine. We're not right for everyone, but it really will give you some tips and information on how you can maybe improve certain aspects of your business that you feel is not up to scratch. So again, I really highly recommend you complete this scorecard. We also have the RFM analysis in the system, and promise guys, we're right near the end of the slides now, but this is really important. So RFM stands for recency, frequency, and monetary. And this is what you're going to be getting on top of what was expect from a basic CRM. So the RFM analysis, so when the last time a customer bought from you, recency, frequency, how often they're buying from you, and monetary, how much they're spending from you. We take all of this data from your inventory system, so Unleashed, it's all factual data, and we take all of your customers and divide them into these sections here. So really golden for sales staff and anyone using the system, if they want to see how their customers are performing and how they look from as a high level, they can see that straight away. Because I suppose how you speak to a customer that maybe is at risk or is hibernating, so they've not ordered for a while, would be completely different to how you speak to someone that is a champion or a potential loyalist. So again, all segmented, and you can click into these different segments. You've got a list of companies that I will show you in the demo, and you can deal with them as you may see. So even from day one, you can see how your customers are distributed across your business. We also have a new customer section. So we've done quite a bit of analysis work over the last couple of years. And we're finding that if a customer that comes into the business hasn't ordered before, it's taking a minimum of 4 orders, no matter how big or small that order is, until they become a really loyal and good customer. So anything less than 4 orders, there's a good, really high percentage chance that they're going to go elsewhere, or they're just going to get lost in the middle of the everything else that goes on within business, and they're going to go elsewhere. So we keep all new customers in there until they've made 4 orders. It allows you to start building rapport, building a relationship, maybe giving them offers to get them over those 4 orders, and keeping them there. As soon as they get the 4, they go into the rest of these segments here. Okay. So whilst we cover this quite a bit more detail in the demo, it's worth a quick run through on what's integrated between Unleashed and Prospect. So as you can see here, we've got a two-way integration, and it connects both systems together, and is actually something that can be fully automated. So even when you take your trial of Prospect CRM, it will automatically pick up currencies, tax, all your customers, your products, and all your orders, and it will bring it into the system, as I mentioned before, using your API key or ID, and it will do it all for you in a matter of a couple of hours. So you can see all of that information built into the CRM. And obviously on the other side, from a prospect side, we push a lot of information through, like sales analysis, new orders, new products, and of course, new customers. So all of that front-end sales stuff is done in Prospect. As soon as an order is made, we then go through to Unleashed to do all their good stuff to get the products out to the system. Okay. So I'm going to click into the demo now. Bear with me 1 second, and I'll bring up a company that is called That's My Jam. Now, this is a fictitious company. They are a company that sells jam products to a number of different, again, fictitious companies in around the UK. It's a trial demo that we use to do a lot of training as well. So it's got a lot of different information in here. Some maybe not relevant to yourselves, but please just take that as a demo purpose. We're just kind of showing you the CRM and how that looks as a high level at the moment. If this is of interest, we'll get you on a trial, and then we'll get your data into the CRM, which becomes obviously a lot more engaging. As you can see front and center, we've got the RFM analysis. So we touched on this before, all of your customers into the different segments. I can click into the hibernating. So we've got 7 customers in here. Left-hand side, we've got the customer names, and I can click into those customers. And then we've got some more information with regards to first order date, last order date, and then how many orders that customer's made with us. One thing else that we haven't touched on the slides is that we are also pulling through account managers from Unleashed as well. So if you have them set up, we pull them through. And then if we go back into the account manager dashboard, which is this dashboard, we can see that we can have the different account managers clicked here. So for example, if I click on Andrew Arden, who is the owner of Prospect, you can see here that we've got 6 customers, and he only sees his customers with all his data. But if we take that back to everyone, it gives us a little more full data onto that. But as you can see, if you have, say, 5, 6 sales staff, those sales staff are predominantly probably quite only interested in their own companies. They're not bothered about what anyone else does, which is a good trait to have as a salesperson, I suppose. But they would just see their data on there and not everyone else's. Okay, so again, I've clicked onto the hibernating. I say we've got 6 customers in the loyal customer. If we click on the 3 buttons up here, we can do things like save to Excel. We can save that company to a campaign activity, or we can kind of perform a bulk action. So if we want to change a list of companies to a certain account manager, then we can perform a bulk action and things like that. So really good information from day one to see how your customers are performing across the business. Top right, we've got the page, which stands for Prospect AI Growth Engine. Really good bit of kit for wholesale and distribution companies, and it predicts when a customer should have ordered from you by now. So it uses factual data that we've taken from your Unleashed and then your accounting system, whether that be Xero or QuickBooks, and we look at when the average, or how many days between the average order that they're currently on average, and how much their currently that order value average is. And we set a warning level to say if they go over that average warning level or average order, it then comes on a list to highlight to you, look, these guys have generally ordered from by now, and they're averagely spending this every order. We don't work in a perfect world. It's not that we're going to call up this list and that everyone's going to take the average order value that they always spend with you. But it's giving you a nudge and giving you an alert, and your sales staff guys really good information to say, these guys usually order, say, every 7 days with you, and they've not ordered for 12 days. So is it because they've gone elsewhere? Is it because they're just busy? And we understand that certain businesses, especially smaller businesses, may not have as many people within the company and are busy doing other things, and they just forgot to order. So this really gives you some good information to really get into your customers that are constantly ordering, that may have forgotten, or maybe an early churn risk that they're going somewhere else. So you can really keep on top and not let any company sneak below and go unnoticed. It also sort of puts everything together, so you can see on average here we've got 10 customers, and it's saying that if we called every company that there's £10,000 there in money to get from orders. Now again, we don't, like I said, we don't work in a perfect world. I'm not saying that everything you call on there will make their order, but it's giving you a really good alert to understand that. And I suppose it'd be really good to see your information from Unleashed to see how that's populated as well, because every trial that we do, obviously when the information that comes through, sometimes it can show figures of 40, 50K that are outstanding, and it's showing customers that maybe have forgotten that and ordered 12 months ago, and it really kind of alerts the people that we're talking to re-engage with that customer. Bottom right, we've got the customer trend box. So that shows when a customer is growing, rolling previous 65 days, who stayed the same, and I suppose more important for a salesperson, who's declining. So we can see more on all of these different dashboards. And as you can see here, it's showing you what the customer spent previous compared to this year. And then it's giving you a difference as well. So if there's a big difference in there, then again, it's to understand why they're spending less with you. The needs engagement box here. So if you started a trial with us, probably all your customers would be on there because you won't be using the CRM on a daily basis. But this is anyone that you've not had any engagement with within the last 30 days. That 30 days can change. So if you feel like you should be keeping in top of your customers every 2 weeks, or it may be a little bit longer, it may be every quarter, so every 90 days, you can change that within the settings of the system. And it will only show you customers that you've not spoke to or had any engagement with within that amount of time that you've set. So if it's 90 days, if you've not spoke to someone within that, well, over that 90 days, they'll appear on that list. And again, it's just giving your sales guys another nudge to say, hold on, you've not spoke to these guys for a while. Is there a reason why? We also have an after sales system as well. So we call it problems. And I suppose no company wants to have any issues, but it's just natural. There are always going to be, whether it's a delivery issue or a product issue, there are going to be customer complaints at times. And part of the CRM offering is that we offer you an after sales as well, which we call problems. So you can start recording all of the different issues that you may have for these different customers. So this is all the customers that we've got with issues. But if I just click onto this for you to have a look, so you can see here, you can start ordering it. If you started a new problem, it would come to this page. You could write a summary of what's gone wrong. Obviously, you could do it per the customer as well. This is for Izzy's Jam Factory, and Izzy Honor has obviously called up with an issue with goods damage during delivery. And you can set follow-up tasks as well. So you can work through this section at the top to make sure the customer's happy and they've either had a credit note or got a new product that's fit for purpose. I can set another follow-up for someone else as well. So, for example, if an administrator within the business takes the call from Izzy, goes into the CRM, logs this issue, and then wants to tag in the sales rep or the account manager to deal with that, they can then set a follow-up date and tag the correct person in. So in here, you'd have all your different users. And say, for example, I want to set Joshua Lunn to follow up with this issue. I can say follow up, and then it would appear on his task list when he comes into the CRM, whether that be today or tomorrow. He may be on site, and we can save that accordingly. This is the task list here. So as you can see, as it's a demo site, there's lots of different tasks. They're obviously all sat in OverG at the moment. But as you would naturally see, it would be a lot more maintained if you use the CRM yourselves, and you would come in and maybe see 10 to 15 tasks per day. And as you're using the CRM more, that's obviously going to build up, and you can clear those tasks each day by going into each different task. We click back into the dashboard. On the left-hand side, we've got three kind of salesy boxes here. So we've got the close rate. That's not pulled anything through here on the demo site, but it would do on your systems. We've got the 12-month orders, so we can see what this customer is ordering. And again, we can see more on this. And then we can see what the orders have done for this, obviously all of the different companies, what we've done this month compared to previous month. And again, we can drill into that more. So if you want to see what we've done this month compared to April last year, we can do that and we can drill in more. So they're the kind of main dashboards that we can see on the account manager dashboard. I'll click through some of the other dashboards towards the end of the demo. I just want to jump into a customer to show you how the kind of CRM looks and how you would expect from a CRM, to be honest, and the information that you can do. So I'm going to go in and who should we choose? Let's go Jamie Oliver's Kitchen. As you come into Jamie Oliver's Kitchen, so if you created a new customer, you can do that by the big plus button here. So you want to create a new company, it would come through to this page, you would fill in the relevant details. And I mentioned the two-way sync during my slides. So this is where the Unleashed integration is really good. So you can do all of your front-end sales work within Prospect before you even need to touch to Unleash. So if your sales guys, if you didn't want them to have access to Unleashed or Zero or anything like that, they can just use Prospect and still have so much information at the fingertips. They can do all of their quoting through Prospect. And if it's a new customer that's not set up in Unleashed, there's no double keying either. So we could set up, say Jamie Oliver's is a new customer. I can set them up. I can talk to them as I would need to, send my quotes. And as soon as they're ready to make the order, I confirm the order, and a little box will pop up on the quote to say, would you like to create this in Unleashed? And all of that information that I've already put in will push through to Unleashed for then the operations guys to get their products out to Jamie Oliver's Kitchen in there. So technically you wouldn't need, as a sales guy, access to Unleash, because again, these are two ways. The name, phone number, and website is all two-way sync. And then we can add summaries of the details. All of the CRM on the categorization is really customizable. So we've got quite generic configure setups on types of customers on this. As you can see here, you can click the configure button and you can have as many different types of customers as you want. We understand that we work with a range of different industry customers in different industries. We've seen some that have got 3 different types of customer because they want to keep it really simple. And I've seen customers that have got 20 different types of customers because they want everything segregated. And that's fine. It's however you want to use the system. Different other categories on here. So you can have the territories set up. So obviously, again, quite generic on this. But I suppose if you're in the UK, you may want to segment it into North and South, or a bit more in depth, so Midlands versus Southwest, anything like that. Or if you have your sales guys split up into regions, we can get that set up for you so it's a lot easier to see. On the right-hand side, we've got an at-a-glance section, so we can see how the customer is performing, I suppose, at a really high level. So we can see what RFM segment they are. We can see what they've spent compared to previous 365 days. So again, I'll be looking at this thinking, why they've spent 26,000 less than last year. But then obviously, I suppose the current FY, they're 6,000 up. So it's maybe that they spend a lot more throughout the summer when it's the busy period. Again, that's for you to understand as your customer, I suppose. We have the Google Maps, so really good for customers that go and visit customers, and we're out of COVID now, thank the Lord, and we can go and see customers face to face, which is great. The CRM is not an app on there, so part of the purchase that you would make and the investment, you could log into the CRM on your phone, on a tablet, or on the laptop. It'd be exactly the same. There's no extra cost to log in or different users. You just log in as your username and your password. You save the web browser on your phone. And for example, say you're going to see this customer and you've got your phone connected to your car. You can then click on the Google Maps and it would take you and direct you to that customer. Another thing that is really quite clever that I use personally as well is we have the nearby section as well. So if I'm going to see a customer and I know I've got all morning or the rest of the day to go see other customers, rather than just thinking off the top of my head, right, okay, I'm going to Newcastle today, right, who else is in Newcastle, who else can I see? It's all there for me. So it's taken the postcode of Jamie Oliver's Kitchen, and I can say, right, show me all of my customers within a 15-mile radius. And it will show me as a list with their postcode, and I can export that to Excel. I can take that, I can write those down and go see those customers. I can see my customers alone, so I can see I just want to see Josh Lunds, for example. Where is he? Let's just see Matt, so I can see Josie Payne. I haven't got one. Andrew Ardens. Josie Payne's got one. There we go. So it's coming through now. So we can see all of the different companies that we've got, and even link that to RFM segments. So for example, if I wanted to go see any customers that are maybe hibernating, so they've not spent for a number amount of time, and as an RFM, they're classed as a hibernating company that maybe we're going to lose shortly. So if I'm going to see a customer that's doing really well, I want to go see customers that are not doing really well to see if we can re-engage with them. So again, you can play around with that nearby section, but really good if you're going to go see customers on site. Okay. If I jump back into the main page of the customer, so we've touched on these sections here. You can see that we've got a bit of an activities page. So this is, I suppose, anything that's happened with the customer. So really good if you want a quick overview of what the customer's gone. So it may be a manager that's coming into the customer profile, or it may be that you're going to see a customer on site or a phone call, and you just need to jog your memory of what you either spoke to the customer about or what you've sent the customer. All of that will appear on the activity. And again, you can show more into this. So for example, you can see here, quotation has been sent to the customer. I can go in and see what was sent and when it was sent. And just to show you while we're on this, so we have tracking on all emails. So any emails sent from the CRM is tracked. So again, you can see anything that's been opened, when it's bounced or anything like that. So really good information if you go in to talk to a customer on that side. On the left-hand side, we've got some tabs now. So address details, again, synced from Unleashed. So anything that you've got set up with an Unleashed on the delivery addresses doesn't need to be set up in Prospect. It'll automatically pull it through. Same with contacts. Opportunities and quotes I'll touch on shortly. Problems we've already kind of looked at of an after sales. So again, any issue that's happened with a customer, that if it's linked to this customer directly that you're currently in, you will see that on the problem page as well. So really good if you're talking to a customer or you go into a customer site, you need to know what's happened over the past, say, few months. If there's been an issue and it's happened over the past couple of weeks, it's probably good to know that before you walk into their office. Any documents, so we can create any documents within the CRM. We've got loads of different templates that I can show you later on. And we can store any documents. There may be contracts as well that we can store here. So any contracts compared to that's linked to this company, supplier contracts, for example, you can store in the system as well. Sales ledger. So we've got a sales ledger on this current company. So if we click into this, we can see some good information of what we pull through, of credit limits and balances and things like that, and whether they're on stop. And one good thing, if we connect your Xero or your QuickBooks, is we can see age receivables, which is basically invoices. Really good for the sales staff to have, so you can see what's outstanding by toggling across here. So you can see all the different invoices that are outstanding, some good information on what was total, what was paid, if anything was credited, what's due. If they've got access to Xero, they can click straight through to Xero and it takes them directly to that invoice. And obviously they've got information there of what's already paid. So if they're on the phone to a customer, or again on site to a customer, if they call up and want to speak about a specific invoice, that sales staff has that information at the fingertips. Again, we can also do things like special prices. So if you've got different price bands for each customers, it may be in blocks or it may be specific to that customer. We pull all of that through from Unleashed as well. We look at, we've also got sales transactions, so we can see, obviously, as we're stock aware, we can look at products as well, again, through Unleashed. So we can see what sales this customer has had, and again, some really good information here of margin values, percentages. If you wanted any of these taken off, you can do. Sometimes companies are quite sensitive on showing things like margin values to their sales staff. That's absolutely fine, and we can take that away. We can also look at products themselves. So if we go into, for example, this chili jam. So whatever you've got set up on Unleashed, we can pull through. So any images that you would like to appear on quotes and product documents, we pull through. We can see information like list price, cost price, how many you've got available, how many, if you're stock aware and that's on your warehouses. Obviously, for sales guys, it's great to know if they're speaking to a customer and they're wanting 2,000 products, but you've only got 1,000. It's good to make them aware that you can send them 1,000, but it's obviously going to be sending at a later date the latter 1,000. We've got all different things here with regards to that, with each product as well. So we can see stock levels, we can see who's purchased this product, and upsell. Upsell is a system that I have within that we can set up during the onboarding side with you. So, for example, if you have a product that goes really well with another product, or if you have a product that you can buy in bulk. So, for example, if you buy one pot of chili jam, it's going to cost you £5. If you buy 10 pots of chili jam, it's going to cost you £25, and they're getting a certain amount of discount. We can make sure that pops up on a quote. So when your sales staff are sending quotes to customers, it's another reminder to say, can we upsell? Can we get anything more out of this customer? We can also see some sales analysis on a product as well. So we can see what companies have bought this product and how much has been ordered. We can see a buying pattern. So, for example, great for the buying side of a company. So if they want to know what maybe is going to be coming in or what we've done last year for a product, we know what kind of stock roughly we're going to need that year on year. If I go back out of the product now and back into the Jamie Oliver's kitchen, we've seen sales analysis on a product. We can also see sales analysis on a company. So we can see what they're doing by month. And again, you can see more into all of these. We can see what they're doing per order frequency, and then by value. Now, it's a shame it's not showing the by value here. So I'm just going to go into another company to see if it's going to show the by value. So I'm just going to go into Casa Bellissimo, go into the sales analysis, and it's not showing us on that one here. I'll try one more. If not, I will move on. Tree, sales analysis, top product, brilliant. Okay, so it's showing us top products here. I'm not sure why, probably because it's a demo data. It wasn't showing it on the other one, but not to worry. We can see the buy value for them. And I think this is really quite powerful. And as a salesperson myself, if I had this CRM, which I do on a daily basis, but if I worked in a wholesale and distribution company, I'd probably focus on this on all my top, say, 10 companies that I'm dealing with, because it allows me to understand what they're buying from us as a whole. So as you can see here, the Tiptree Jam Company, they're buying the appetizing apricot jam, and it's 72% of their orders is the same product, which is great. They're obviously they're a good company of ours, so they're a loyal customer. They're up by 18,000, which is great. But can we get more out of that customer? So that this customer is spending a lot. So it's quite easy to look at this customer from a high level and say, they're buying the appetizing apricot jam. There's nothing to worry about here. They're spending a lot. They're a loyal customer. Let's leave them as they are. But if you actually dig down into the information that we provide you, it's really, really good to understand that they might be buying blueberry jam and raspberry jam and strawberry jam from another provider. There may be another 18,000, 25,000 of sales that's going to another competitor. So that's where the information, where we're different to other CRMs, is we'll give you that information to really understand your customers and to where you can get the most out of a customer. I'm going to jump back into Jamie Oliver's just so we keep it the same as before. So where was he? Jamie Oliver, clicking here. I suppose another way of getting to customers, I've gone the long way around there to get to a dashboard. But if you're on the search everything, so as you can see here, anything that we've gone in, we can actually go back into the recent records. So you probably don't need to do what I did going through the things. If you can search anything, it will pick it up on the search bar. So we looked at sales analysis, any campaigns. So we connect with MailChimp and Klaviyo. So a lot of companies that we deal with that have Unleashed have an email marketing campaign company, and we are a CRM from the start. There's a lot of other companies, like, for example, that are out there that were marketing companies that added a CRM on. We're specifically a CRM, and we leave the marketing to customers that do the best of what they do. So we allow marketing companies like MailChimp and Klaviyo to do what they do with regards to things. So we can provide them the list of companies, and they can do the marketing campaigns. But anything that is sent will come through to here on that side. Equipment register. So some companies do, some companies don't loan out equipment. If you do loan out equipment, we have all the relevant information and details and kind of software built in to make sure you know where that product is, which company it's being at, how long it's been at there. You may have lease agreements, it may be contract variations, service level agreements. We can deal with all of that with regards to the details on there. I'm just looking at time, and I'm going to go through the opportunities and quotes now. So we go back into the details section. We've looked at all of these on the left-hand side. We've looked at what you'd expect from a CRM. So I suppose the next thing is quoting. So with this plus button here, we can do different types. So we have 3 different types of getting a quote out to a customer. So a sales order would be someone that you deal with quite a lot that sends you a PO, and they probably know you and have order every week. And they just say, right, okay, James, yeah, here's my PO. I want X, Y, Z. Please send me it. And you've got that over email. You press the sales order. You put those products through. It gets sent up to Unleashed. You get sent to the customer and then invoiced correctly. You've already got the PO. That's the easy bit of taking an order. The 2 ones that we're going to look at today, the opportunity and the quote. Opportunities for a larger customer. So it may be multiple quotes to a certain company. So it may be a big customer that you're trying to get into, and you may be quoting a buyer, a project manager, a contracts manager, whatever it may be. Within that business, you may be doing multiple contacts and multiple quotes to that company. That's when you kind of set an opportunity. But just for today, and if you want to know more on the opportunity, I'm more than happy to show you guys. Just put it in the chat and we can look at that more. But I'm going to look at the quote section today. Now, I've pulled it through from the parent company because we're in Jamie Oliver's kitchen. Based on is really good, so I won't go into that, but just to quickly understand based on is if you do repeatable quotes for a customer that's the same, and you know that you deal with Jamie Oliver's kitchen and there's another kitchen that another restaurant that you deal with that's wanting a similar quote, and you did it for them 2 days ago, rather than repeating itself, you can actually take that information and it changes it to Jamie Oliver's, and then you can change the number of what's needed. So again, just to save a little bit of time. We've got the different currencies that we can set up, different salesperson, We've got ultimate pipelines. You can have loads of different pipelines with regards to setup within your business. But let's just say we're just looking at this at the moment. And then depending on which pipeline you're in will depend on how you want to go through the different sales cycle. This is quite generic because obviously it's a demo site, but you can configure that and have as many different stages as you want. For example, some customers like to send out samples to customers before they order. That may be a section in your status in there. So you can't go onto the quote until you've sent a sample to make sure the customer likes the product, for example. You can also see the source. So if you want to understand from a high level, management level, where your business is coming from, where your quotes are coming from, you can start understanding that as well. And that is all configurable. So wherever you get your business from, we can set that up. So for example, on this side, I'm just going to say that I've generated this. I go in and create my quote. And here is where I start filling it out. So I can start putting a description of the quote, so whatever that may be. So I'm just going to put stock order supply in this just for demo purposes. The different price bands. So if we have set price bands, that will pull that through for this customer. But if we're just doing a retail price, I can maybe set that as retail price on there. Different warehouses. We can set a order due date and an expiry date. So the order due date will determine on your sales pipeline that I can show you after this. That'll be when you think the order is going to come in. And the expiry is, I suppose, a line for the customer, really. So if you want to say, right, these prices are valid for 30 days only, you can make sure that's really, really clear on your quote and set an expiry. I'm going to select a contact to the quote as well, because it won't let me send that without the quote. So I'm just going to select, say, Jamie Oliver. Where is he? There we go. So we've connected that Jamie Oliver in there, and we can see that. We can set a follow-up. So if I want to follow it up, so I'm sending a quote today, follow up on quote. And I'll set that for myself, and I'm going to set that for, well, tomorrow's probably too much. So if I'm sending it today, I'm going to call him on Monday to say, did you get my quote, Jamie? Would you like to go ahead? So that'll appear in my little bell on when I come into my CRM on Monday. And from here, you can see different products. So we can either search for a product. So if you know the SKU or the product that you want to put in, you can search that in. If you may be on the phone to the customer, you can quite easily just go to the Add Products button. Any categories that you've got set up within Unleashed will be pulled through, so it makes it really easy. And there's also different things, so you can see when a customer recently purchased. So if it's a stock order, you can really easily find what they ordered last week, for example, and you can see what's popular as well. But I'm just going to say, right, we've got a 4-pack of blueberry jam. He wants one of these, and it's just a simple version of putting how much they want in. So they want 45 apricot jam, and they wanted 3 packs of these, for example. I add and close that to my quote. If I want to, we've got the toggles on for editing the discount and price and quantity. So for example, if I'm feeling nice today, I might want to say, right, if you go ahead and give me the order next week, you can have 15% off the blueberry jam. I'll automatically update that for you. And then we can go to look and sending this quote to the customer. So we can send a document to the customer. Excuse me. So you may want, every customer is different. You may just want to send a quote. You may want to send a brochure. You may want to send it, and we've got all different templates. So it may be a project proposal that this quote is part of. And we can easily do that for you. So everything's integrated within the system. We can help you during onboarding to set that up. And as you can see, there's got a bit of a thumbnail of a project proposal there. But let's just say we just want to send the customer this quote. We can have different templates. So if your sales staff are sending the same templates day in, day out, we can have them set up so it automatically goes to that customer. So they're not having to retype it in. It's saving loads of time. We can have the email in a basic email quote. So you can see the SKU, the product thing that we pull through there, the product. Or we can see it as a PDF. Now, if we just load up this PDF. Got a frog in my throat, sorry about that. Excuse me. So as you can see here, we've got a PDF document with the quote. So this can be bespoke to yourselves. Anything that can be made up within on Word, we can make sure that's pulled through as a template for you. So if you want your logo on there, your company colors, we can add that to there. And as you can see here, there's an approve and decline button. So that customer can take away some of we can put a workflow within the CRM. So it means that there's less touch points. So for example, if they don't want to then give a customer a call back, they may be on the phone, or the sales agent may be on the phone and then they can't get back, and all they want to do is accept the order. They can do that themselves. It'll take them through to the customer portal. They can put the PO in, and then they can approve that order, and then the salesperson will get a notification to come through on that side. And then obviously you've also got the approve and decline on the actual email as well. So really good. And we can add things like your terms and conditions. If you want to add a product brochure, automatically we can add that in. And obviously we've got the reference of the quote as well. So the customer can always come back and say, can you find reference this number? And you can find that quote really, really easy by going in the search bar if you want. That's kind of how you would send a quote to a customer. Once you confirm that quote, it would get pushed through to Unleashed. It would then set a task for you to make sure that's done. And obviously we can see here it's gone to 1. It's waiting to be confirmed. As we're on a demo and live, of course it's gone wrong. It's absolutely fine. But usually that would go green to say confirmed, and it'd go through to Unleashed to then show as an order to be confirmed, and then the operations guys from their side would do what they need to do. So really, really easy, really good to send quotes that are constantly uniformed. In your sense, all your sales staff are sending the same emails out, same quotes. They all look the same, so it looks really professional rather than just sending emails out with different numbers on and different emails. It can easily get lost. This is all kind of uniformed and kept the same. Okay, so if I come out of this quote now, I'm back into the main page. So I can see, so we kind of showed you the different dashboards. We've looked at a customer, Jamie Oliver's Kitchen. We've looked at what all the customer details include. We've looked at problems. We've looked at creating a quote and sending a quote to a customer. If I go back into the dashboard, I mentioned at the beginning about different dashboards. So we've got the account manager dashboard. We have an overview dashboard of all the different opportunities and really good information there for management. We have a sales manager dashboard. If you have a sales manager and a sales team, we have different dashboards for those guys. Look at the sales rep dashboard. If you've got leaderboards, you can see where they are on the leaderboard, what they're focusing on, what opportunities they've got this month. You can also, we have inquiries pipeline as well. So if you have an inquiry login on your website where customers send inquiries through, not sure where they go currently, for each customer is different and each company has different setups, but it may go to an email address that can easily get missed. We can match that inquiry web form on your link on your website, and any inquiry that comes through to the inquiry web links, and that pipeline can then be assigned to a certain sales rep for them to deal with, and it may be a good lead or a bad lead, and they can either get rid of the customer of that lead because it may not be fit for purpose, or it may be a good lead and then turn it into a customer and hopefully quote and win an order. The other pipeline we've got is the sales pipeline. So we have different views. We've got a Kanban view, and then we've also got a list view. Personally, I prefer the list view. I just feel it works better for me. But you can see kind of things that you can easily set. We've got filters on here, and you can filter this to as much as you want, whatever you can think of that you want to see. I'm pretty sure we'd be able to report on it within the system because the filters are really, really good within the system. But you've got basic sales thing there, so you'd set it for yourself, for the salesperson, and then you can see things like, for example, what we've got going on this month compared to next month, for example. So again, you can see what's going on. You can click into the orders, and hopefully you can move them along the sales pipeline. So maybe that they're at a quote, you're then chasing that quote and pushing for an order, and hopefully you push them along the different sections to then gain that order, to then push through to Unleashed, to become a customer or to get another order. Just before we finish and look at any questions, so I can see quite a few questions. So I'm just bearing in mind that we want to get through them. Again, if we can't get through to the questions, all of them today, I will come back to you afterwards directly. It's not a problem. But if we look at the reports, so we've got basic reports set up in the system. So we can see, for example, this one's a good one. So customers who bought X but not Y. So customers that bought a certain product but not another. So you may have some really good products that go well together. So it might be raspberry jam goes well with a certain bread that you do. In this instance of That's My Jam. So you could look at all the customers that have bought the jam but not the bread. And then straight away, you've got a really good list and a hit list for your sales guys to go, right, target those customers directly. We know they've bought the jam. The bread goes really well with it. It's a good sale. It's a good conversation to have with that customer. Finally, before we go into the questions, I'll just show you the Magic Matrix dashboard. So that is a Harvard business tool that we brought into the CRM. Really clever bit of kit that uses AI and all the information that you've got sat in within your Unleashed. If we look at the Magic Matrix, so it lists your customers on the left-hand side, and we can filter that down to as little or as more customers as you would like. And it shows all of your all of your product categories along the top. And then it shows us like a traffic light system of red, they've never bought anything from you of that product and they're unaware. Green, they've bought product from that. And if we click on that, we can see what they've bought. Yellow, they're aware of the product, and blue, they're part of an opportunity. So you may have sent them a quote and it includes that product. You know they've sent them. So straight away, it'd be really good to say, look at your top 25 customers. Right, let's have a look, and let's look at all the different red dots of where they've not bought and not aware of any quote. We've never sent them a quote for example, a certain jam. Let's see if they buy jam from somewhere else, and can they start buying jam from us. So really good bit of kit for the Magic Matrix there. And that, guys, is kind of the CRM as a whole. I know we've gone through it quite quickly on that side. I'm going to jump back into the slides and just to see what questions we have, and just to show you a little bit more on that side. So we've got the details there. So again, if you've got any further questions or you want to reach out to us, please feel free to jump in. So we've really kind of scratched the surfaces of it, and if you wanted to go into that deeper, and there's certain specific things that you want to see, or you've just enjoyed and you're quite curious about what your information from Unleashed would look like in Prospect, we can do you a free trial. So we can take your 2-week free trial. It's no obligation. You can head to our website, prospectsoft.com, and you can get things. Or I believe that as you go into Unleashed, you can set the trial up from here. So as you go into your integration store, you can look at that, taking a free trial. And if you want, there's a couple of us sales guys here. If you want a more one-to-one session, looking at your data and how to get the most out of it, we can do that for you as well. That's absolutely no problem whatsoever. So Jess, we okay for a couple of questions? We're on just under an hour. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. And somebody was just asking about that offer. So somebody was saying, when do I need to take the trial by? So if you missed it, take the trial by the 19th of April, then that offer would be a valid offer for you. So yeah, that gives you a bit of time to take that trial now. So yeah, if we go to the questions, James, we've got a few coming in. Thank you for those. Do put them in the chat and the Q&A if you've got any more, guys. So James, do you want to pick up on a couple of those for a few minutes?
I will, yeah. So we've got a couple. So one of them, I suppose, is just leading on to what you just said there about the cost. So again, all of our pricing is really full available on the website. So someone said, what is the cost of Prospect CRM? I won't give out names and that, so I'll just keep it as generic. So again, we've looked at the professional model. You can click on to prospectsoft.com/pricing, see all of our cost on there. We have seen the professional CRM today, which is £318 or starts from £318. That gets you 4 users of the CRM. As you're an Unleashed customer, and if we go ahead and you're fitting the deadlines of what we've said there with the offer, we can get that obviously half price for the first 3 months, which obviously is 159. That includes your onboarding as well. So part of the onboarding of the setup would be getting the system so it's right for you to go live. There are loads of documents on onboarding as well that I'm more than happy to feel free and send through to you, and you can see within the trial of how that looks. But it's a really good, slick system that all our customers go through, and once they go live, they're confident with the setup there. So I can send you more details on that.
One thing just to mention actually on that, James, is just around the offer. So when you go to that pricing page, guys, you won't see the offer just for Unleashed customers, because
No.
that is just for webinar attendees only. So don't panic; it will be applied by the sales guys. So I'd mention that if you go to the pricing, you can't see it. We will take into account with all your names, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Yes, James,
Brilliant.
carry on. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, that's all right. So another one, can you manage warranty repairs and servicing in the CRM? Yes, you can. So I'll briefly mention this. So we have an after-sales ticketing services. This can be used for management of product services or warranty repairs, for example. But we also have the equipment register and the contracts to supplement that as well. So I can send you further details on that. I'll reach out to you directly via email. We've got loads of videos on YouTube as well on everything where we can look. But we do have the equipment register. You can see where your products are, where they've gone, where they've been. And again, if you have servicing levels with regards to the maintaining your product, you can also keep those within the CRM as well. So yes, we can do that. And the final one was, I've kind of touched on it. So how do we get started with Prospect Soft, and do you offer onboarding like Unleashed? So I touched on that briefly, but I will answer your question again. So yeah, you can start by signing up for the trial, getting your API key and ID from Unleashed. If you cannot get that from your account manager Unleashed, feel free to reach out to us. We will always try and help. And it's just a case of putting that into the CRM. It's really self-explanatory, and it does it for you in the background. All uploads, and then a couple of hours usually, but it depends on how much data you've got. I've seen a couple that can take up to a day because they've had quite a bit of information and been with Unleashed for quite a while. So that can be done. And then when you come into the CRM, you've got those 14 days to play around with your details. And then the onboarding, again, that is absolutely crucial for us. We don't want to give you a CRM that's quite powerful that you don't know what you're doing with it. So that onboarding is there to make sure you get the most out of the CRM. It's a really good system. Generally takes 4 to 6 weeks to go live. Sometimes could be quicker, sometimes could be longer, depending on how much kind of time you can give to us. Again, online on our website, we have a full document of what goes on into that onboarding, but that involves things like training on the system, involves like doing your template. So you would give us a template, that onboarding consultant would go away and put that into the system. You then got on a call to make sure you're happy with the template. So it's all things like that. So you're probably spending on average 10 hours. And again, that takes into consideration our consultants doing work for you and one-to-one sessions of things like training. So really, really important for us for onboarding, which is similar, I suppose, to Unleashed.
There's a couple in here, James, as well, just from here from Peter's just asking about and logging inquiries rather than being treated as a customer. So James briefly showed you that global create and that plus button at the very top of the CRM. And so you can either log inquiries manually like that, or you can actually deploy an inquiry web form, so a form on your website that then generates those inquiries and passes them straight into the CRM automatically. Again, obviously James can pop on a call with you and show you that in a bit more detail, Peter. And I know you also can see the opportunities section. I think we briefly showed some of that, but again, James can maybe do a bit more in depth with you on that. And then Martin's asked about the non-customer prospects, as in they may be used for one day for future marketing campaigns. Yes, they can be kept. You can just create those in the CRM as prospects, have a company type of prospect, and just assign them to that. And then you can still target them through that integration to MailChimp or Klaviyo, one of those marketing automation platforms. So hopefully that briefly answers those for you guys as well. I'll let you wrap up, James.
Yeah, no, that's it. Thank you. So again, really thank you for your time. Any questions, feel free to come back. I'm more than happy to speak to you. Got our details. Well, if you've registered for the webinar, you'll get a recording of this. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you're a Unleashed customer, you are a fantastic fit for Prospect. So at the least, it doesn't cost anything and it's really easy to do. I would get a trial set up and at least you can see your data, even if it's just for being a bit nosy. Have a look at it and then we can take it from there. So really, thank you for your time and I will speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.